We're right around $500,000 in debt.
At this size of business, an owner trying to juggle everything is recipe for a breakdown.
Our subcontractor sent me a nasty text. We're gonna have to probably do a couple layoffs. Like, I don't think he's gonna be super hurt if we have to lay him off. He jumped in a truck and stole it. Now he's threatening to sue us.
He's on the brink of collapse.
It is stressful.
I'm aware of some of the financial decisions that I didn't agree with.
I don't know about sharing with them. They don't have enough money to make payroll. Did you tell them that?
Oh, 100% I tell him that. Really?
They're
Why?
If he wants to have a conversation about his finance, he can be here and we can have a conversation about his finance.
Hey everyone, my name is Mike Andes. I'm the founder of Augusta Lawn Care. We have over 150 locations around the world, and we do over $50 million a year in annual revenue. And we travel around the country trying to help small businesses and home services turn around and get back on track. Today, we're in Michigan with Alex from Faith Lawn Care. And there's been a lot of bad things happening. Recently, the team has really had a lot of infighting. They tried raising prices and they lost one of their biggest commercial contracts. And worse yet, there's thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars every single month having to go towards debt payments. Let's see if we can turn this thing around. Alex, how's it going, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. This shop is awesome.
Thank you.
Relatively new or just new concrete?
Nice to meet you. New concrete.
Okay, cool, man. Good to see you.
I'm Alex Krugen. I own Faith Lawn Property Maintenance. I've been in business since 2018. This is my third landscape company I have owned.
So all these bays are yours then?
We have the 3 here.
Okay, 3. Okay.
Yep, and then we have outdoor storage like a mile from here. Yep, so we just pay for the one parking spot. And we've got, our 4 plows here. We got one over in the shop as well. We tried keeping some of the equipment outside when we first moved in at the other shop or at the main shop, and it didn't work out. We had issues with the landlord.
And then with the rent, did that include the office space too then?
So that's an additional.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yep, but it's included in that 3,200.
Oh, that's great.
Is the office and these 2 spaces.
Okay, great. Well, did you get everyone rolling out for the day?
Everybody
You're good
gone,
to go?
pretty much.
Sweet.
So last couple of trucks rolling out. And,
all right.
You missed the drama this morning. We had to let somebody go this morning. So
Really?
Always fun, but
Man, I'm sorry.
that's all right.
All right, so full disclosure, when we do these turnarounds, we are there to do coaching and try to do some interviews, get some shots of the crew, but this is all in a matter of just a few hours. You'll see at the end of the video, like, it just went in a very different direction than we thought, and it's a little bit crazy.
You want to go in the office then?
Yeah, let's go up front.
All right,
and
let's do it.
We'll chat. Come on in. Dawn, this is Mike.
My name is Dawn Lear. I've been doing spreadsheets, all the invoicing, payroll.
How long have you been here for now?
A couple months.
Okay, cool, very cool. And were you working in another lawn care landscape business before, or?
I was at a landscape supplier. I've been doing spreadsheets, all the invoicing, payroll.
I looked at the P&L and kind of like what things are going on. I know some of it you said, hey, I'm not for sure if all of it's not necessarily on the books or organized. Like half of his P&L is just debts. John Deere payment 1, John Deere payment 2, 3, 4, 5. From your point of view, what's the biggest kind of struggle right now?
Cash flow.
Okay.
Cash flow is definitely the biggest struggle. Like this week is a payroll week and it's like 10 grand in the bank. There's gonna be $20,000 in payroll. And it's just every pay period, we're always struggling to come up with payroll. We always do. $2,000, $3,000 left in the bank account after payroll, and it's just like scrambling for 2 weeks just to get everything built back up just for another payroll to hit.
I've heard a couple people complain about how the payroll is going, a couple people not getting their W-2s, getting the direct deposit, have the right hand checks.
And it's just like the time we actually build up any money really is in the winter. When we go through Christmas lights, we have our Christmas light money, our labor drops way down in the winter, and then we do pretty dang well on snow. If it snows, we do pretty well. First hardscape project, huge one, first big hardscape project, we're doing a $500,000 hardscape. The hardscape division is called Treasured Earth. Okay. So when I bought Treasured Earth, we're in the last 2 weeks of that project. So we're $5 grand a day in plants, then landscape lighting. Like we're just shelling out cash like crazy. I don't use credit to buy material, and they still owe us the $50,000 plus another $30,000, $50,000, $85,000.
You've got to spend the money in order to make the money, but you got to have the money to spend. So I think he had a conversation with that homeowner last week about, we've got to buy all these plants for you. You've got 700 and some plants in your yard. It's a lot of money.
So that money's still hanging out there. We have another, we do some subcontracting for another landscaper. He's out, 20 grand. And then we have probably another 30, 40 in just regular receivables and mowing. Then we have some Christmas light money that's, we've started doing our Christmas lights for the year. So we've got 50 grand of Christmas light money that's hanging out there. So we're well over 6 figures owed to us. And it always seems like there's a crap ton of money owed to us, but we can't quite grab it to get there. And that seems to be always the holdup, is getting the bills paid. The money's out there, but it's just not in the bank account where it needs to be. Between employees, the bad employees, I have so many good employees too, but between the bad employees and the money, it's just what completely just ruins business.
The other problem on the balance sheet is just the debts.
Yes.
So give me like a rough breakdown. I'm gonna go ahead and guess, because I didn't get a balance sheet. So I'm gonna guess it's like 30 to 40,000 on like short-term debt that is like high interest that needs to get paid off.
A little bit more.
Okay. All right. So around 50,000 for that.
You're about 50,000. Yep.
Okay. And then for equipment, man, I don't know.
About 400,000.
450,000.
We're right around $500,000 in debt. So that's with all the equipment and a couple of the short-term loans too.
And that's because mostly the trucks.
Yes. 6, 7, 8. I think there's 13 total. It seems like every time I turn around, you're putting 5 to 10 grand into a truck, and that's just, like we just got done putting 10 grand into bucket trucks last week. So now it's just like, okay, well now we got plants to buy and we have payroll to do, and we're.
Is the bucket trucks for the Christmas lights?
Yes.
So all the Christmas lights.
All our Christmas stuff. This is all the stuff that just comes down and goes up.
Yep.
Every year, but a lot of our stuff is, like I said, stays up.
And what percentage of the lights is most commercial and
I
municipal?
think it's like 75%. The bucket trucks are just so darn expensive. I mean,
What are they, 100 grand?
they're new ones like 140.
Dude, not gonna lie, that's pretty sick.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, that's the newer of the two trucks. So we bought a 2011 3 years ago, and it's 60 grand still for a used truck. And there's only one guy in the state that works on bucket trucks.
Oh, mercy.
Oh yeah, 2-3 days fixed. All right, cool. Well, we're 4 weeks later, and he's like, I'm sorry, man, trying to get parts and this and that. And it's just like, okay, well, we need it like next week. So a couple trucks that are a little bit older. One of the bucket trucks is paid off. The other one, we still owe probably 40 on that.
I mean, look, 4 new trucks in the last year. It's 50, 60 grand a pop. New skid, snow raider, walk-behind mower that no one's used.
6 to 8 months left on the John Deere equipment. Trucks, mowers, so we bought 6 new mowers last year.
I'm aware of some of the financial decisions that I didn't agree with. We just don't have time because we're aware of our routes and we're like, we can't use this. So now it's sitting at the shop.
I probably went a little crazy with purchasing new equipment. We probably should have been a little more conservative and gone with some used stuff, but.
Stop spending money. Stop spending money, save money. Stop spending money, save money. Like, it is that simple. It's that simple.
We're spending right around $40,000 a year on repairs, on trucks.
Between the $50,000 kind of shorter term debt, $400,000 to $450,000 of equipment debt, what's the monthly, like just from a cash flow perspective per month?
It's about $15,000 roughly total.
For everything?
For thereabouts. I'd have to double check that. But
And that includes the $9,000 you're saying? Like, so total loan debt payments?
No, so it's gonna be more because it was 15 before that.
Okay.
So then you got the $9 grand on top of that, so
basically
you're 24,000 a month.
Okay.
You can't even have thought about, just telling, cashing out. But it's just like with all the debt, I mean, gosh, if I could tell anybody, if you're starting a business, try your hardest to not use debt to grow your business. I think a little bit of debt is needed, but don't let it run away from you.
You gotta like money, number one. You know what I mean? If you don't like your old lady, it ain't gonna work. You gotta start by at least liking each other. Otherwise, it's just never gonna work.
Like at the current rate, you made $17,000 in profit. If you just think about it logistically, it would take 30 years to pay off his debt if you throw all of his profit at his debt. The challenging part is in the next 3 to 5 years as you pay off all that debt, you're probably gonna need more equipment. You're probably gonna need more trucks.
Exactly, as stuff wears out, it's gonna need to be replaced.
Right, and that's where it's easy to get on the treadmill like, oh, if I just get these payments, well then you have to get more because like the trucks still break down, they still get old, the equipment you still need, right? So take that part off the table. What do you think is like causing this cash flow crunch?
I think the bigger project messed us up a little bit. I don't think, up until this project, our biggest hardscape project was 100 grand.
If you're not right on, you lose your ass. I don't know what his thing of what this job is, but
the amount of cash flow needed to complete the project. I mean, we got the deposit up front and we got, progress payment, but he's not on time with his payments, so we're trying to get things done. We just had a big investment, with pavers up front, and then you have all the plants you have to buy.
Again, this is not necessarily even just for Alex. This is just basic for everyone.
It's just constantly shelling the money out, and it's going out faster than it comes in. So maybe adjusting our payment schedule in the future if we ever do another large project.
Or even just having some sort of fees on it, like where it's like, hey, if you miss progress payments, it's starting to collect fees immediately. Yeah. Right. So like if we do I do at least a 1% per month if someone's overdue. Okay. Especially on that type of a project, someone being behind like that could tank the business.
Oh, easily. $1.5 million business. Why don't you have, a couple $100,000 sitting in the bank? I'm like, man, I've never seen a couple $100,000.
It is stressful. I think mainly because I'm watching everything that's going on and how stressed Alex is. So I stress about what can I do to help.
I mean, I saw 6 figures in my account for 30 seconds and then started paying for material and labor, catching up on bills. I mean, man, that day was gone so fast.
How many crew members are there now, just for the sake of?
Right now we have 6 people mowing, 4 on hardscape, and then I have one gentleman that he just does my landscape maintenance and Christmas lights.
But I would say based on that, it's like probably 70% projects, like landscape, Christmas lights, etc. Like in terms of versus recurring.
So we're probably about $300,000 to $400,000 a year in hardscape.
Okay.
And we're about $400,000 a year in Christmas lights.
Oh wow.
And the rest is lawn maintenance and landscape maintenance.
Got it.
We have 3 mowing crews right now.
Do you have any sort of like operations manager right now, or any sort of like hierarchy? Or is it basically you and all laborers?
It's basically me. So technically Brandon is in charge of all the lawn mowing. I love Brandon. A lot of times I think he's the glorified foreman. My hardscape foreman, Juan, he has 30 years in experience. I swear he is the best guy out in there in the industry. He is phenomenal, and we are blessed to have him.
There was no one that works for us that can come to this job, start to finish, and knock it out. Juan is the only one.
And then Eric is my landscape maintenance and Christmas lights.
So it's like I work by myself, and there's a reason I work by myself.
I don't think he wants to be in management.
I don't want to be a leader. I'm good.
Same kind of thing. I can give him a list. Hey, we got to go do Christmas lights here, and he can go out and take care of it.
Alex has Treasured Earth, Holiday Light Service, and Faithful Property Maintenance with 15 guys, and they're all and you know what I mean? Like none of them get along, and no one communicates. And it's like, it's a headache, you know what I mean? But it's kind of more of a headache to the people working than I feel it is to him.
All right, so far we've established that Alex has $185,000 in unpaid work that's owed to him. He has $500,000 worth of debt, and he's paying that down by about $24,000 per month on those loan payments until October, and then it's gonna go down to $16,000 per month for those loan payments. And he has 3 foremen, but really he's basically managing this $1.6 million business by himself.
How savage do you want to get with fixing this? Because we can fix it, but it'll be really tough.
Hey, this is what I want to do. I mean, I don't see myself doing anything else. I mean, I'm not gonna give this up and go work back to sales or anything like that. So I don't really have a choice. I got to make it work.
What's our pricing look like right now for, I know there's like multiple departments and different services, but like as a blended average, or give me the breakdown if you know it, of like hourly rate versus.
So we were at $32 an hour for mowing. Yeah. We just did a price increase last week. That was when it actually went into effect today. Hardscape projects, we were billing at $60 a man hour. But after this big project, we bumped it to $85 a man hour. And then I've also been trying to bid maintenance work at $85. And then Christmas lights were at $150 a man hour.
Got it. Okay, I heard $32 an hour. What was it raised to for mowing?
We're right at about 50 now.
Okay.
I hear everybody talk about online about, $60 a man hour for mowing, $85 a man hour for mowing. You can't get it in this area. As much as I would love to, you can't get it.
Like if we go to cut a house and he's like, hey, this corner house right here, it's got a lot of whipping, it'll probably take you an hour. I'm gonna charge him $35. We're like, that's not a good idea.
I mean, I know we were bidding stuff at like $45 an acre for commercial mowing, which is way too low of what I've learned now. But even at $45 an acre, we couldn't close stuff.
This guy, I think he's just afraid of like charging people the right amount because he wants to make them happy.
Man, okay, that's low. Whew. What are you paying per hour?
So we start at 20 and our highest people are paid at 32. So we have everything in between.
Oh man.
Yeah, we're about $28,000 every 2 weeks for payroll.
If I had to be honest, I would cut off the grass. I mean, that's my favorite, but I would cut off the grass just because I know the grass game isn't the most profitable out of the 3.
The other thing too is trying to get out there and give them some hands-on training with the equipment, but just for me to get time to get out. Like I would love to get out in the field and help them be like, hey, I've used this in the past, this is how you use it.
Or they'll try, but then they get stressed out and they might take it out in a negative way instead of constructive ways.
This is how it should be used, and then showing them how it, at least in my mind, how it should be used. But
Because a lot of people think they can come into a field, like especially outside, if they haven't worked outside, they think they can do it, it's fun, everybody's out here, it's the good old time, there's nobody on your back. But it's like kind of the opposite.
Charging customers $50 per hour on the job site, we will never make money. If you look at $20 per hour that he's paying his employees on base pay, and you look at $50 per hour that he's charging his customers, 40% is going to base pay. In my opinion, I want that to be under 25%. I call this the 25% rule. Now, I know that there are franchisees of Augusta Lawn Care that are within driving distance of Alex and charge more than 50% per hour more to the customer than what he's charging. And the reason for that is because they have a great website, they have uniforms, their trucks are painted and decaled. If you have higher value in the mind of the customer, you'll be able to charge a higher price.
Like 80% of our revenue is going out the door to COGS, cost of goods sold. There's no room for profit. Because the other 20% has to cover overhead, admin costs, fuel, insurance, shop space, and everything else.
sure, yeah, no, I feel that. Definitely the pinch, and that's probably where a good analysis.
Like the challenging part when you have so much debt is it's hard to be like if you had no debt, I'd be like, look, let's not do 1.5, let's not do 1.6, let's do $1 million, but make it very profitable. And we're gonna shed 30% of customers by raising prices, and we're gonna immediately cut out the services that we know aren't profitable, and we're gonna immediately cut out but when you have that much debt, you need a lot of revenue just to cover the debt service.
Yeah, I worry too, like, if you were to raise prices too much, you're gonna lose the cash flow to cover payments and things like that.
How many customers do you have? Like for mowing that you raise prices on?
That we raise prices on? Probably 100,
Yeah, I
200?
don't even know how many lawns we have.
It's 150-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably about 150-ish.
We had less than a 1% churn and we increased prices by 40%. Ladies and gentlemen, like Exhibit A and B and C.
Like, I don't think he's gonna be super hurt if we have to lay him off. That's what I'm saying. I originally kind of planned on having 2 weeks to plan this out. Our subcontractor sent me a nasty text. He had originally had promised us $5,000 a week in mowing. That turned into like $4,700, which turned into $3,800, and now we're down to like $3,200 a week.
Yeah.
And he was just like, he's like, well, if you guys can't keep our quality, maybe we'll just take them back. So now it's kind of dumped on my lap. I've got 2 extra people and a bunch of equipment that I need to figure out what to do. The only one we might have to lay off would be Jordan, because I don't think I could really afford to keep him around. Which I would help find him another job. We could find him something with somebody. First time I've had to really lay anybody off.
How far are you booked out with the projects right now?
Projects were booked through the end of the year, and I'll probably try to grab one or two more projects for October and November.
Okay. And then you already know like there's gonna be snow and stuff like that, so you just kind of take those off.
You try to. We don't book any hardscape past December 1st, because we like to think we're normally gonna have snow. But
So we're almost 6 months booked out.
yeah. Yep. And then like last year we didn't have any snow, so that was another contributing factor going into the spring. We only did about $100,000 in snow, and normally we do close to $300,000 in snow.
If the mowing is so low in price and you're very confident you can't get a price that's going to work in terms of making profit, why not cut it out? You're 6 months booked out on projects.
Cash flow. It's kind of just nice to have that recurring cash.
If it's losing us money.
I just worry if the economy tanks or anything happens, the project's work's going to dry up.
Right.
Same thing with Christmas lights. Like our municipality work will stay, but like all our residential and stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll stay busy. We'll stay busy, but we're losing money on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I just worry if the economy, if stuff slows down and we lose the project.
Oh, I'm 100% on board. Like we're seeing most places it's tough to get projects.
I try to stay diversified.
Right.
And just
I get it.
have the cash flow and have something there to kind of fall back on.
You got to make it profitable. Like we will never make money
Yeah.
at $40-50 an hour.
I think we pretty much break even on mowing.
I'm gonna guess we lose 20%.
You think?
Oh yeah. It's being hidden by the fact that the landscaping and the Christmas lights is paying for the trucks. It's propping everything up.
Alex has got to ask himself, does each service individually make money? And if not, do we need to change the pricing? Do we need to adjust the efficiency of the crew? Do we need to do retraining, or do we need to get rid of the service altogether?
I don't know how you're actually managing it all.
I don't know how I handle the stress. I pray a lot.
Because that's a huge business, and the fact that you just got an admin person.
I work a lot. My wife always says, she's like, I don't know, you never read your Bible, and how do I know, your faith is like, I would have been gone a long time ago if it wasn't for the guy upstairs.
Oh, you don't even have to tell me that. I know you work 7 days a week, and before Dawn came along, I don't know what you were doing.
Not a lot of time with kids. So that's the other thing is I'm trying to get this fixed so I can spend more time with the kids. I mean, so many times I don't get home for them to go to bed, and it kills me on the inside. I feel like they're just growing up without me right now. I mean, I got 4 kids under 9. I'm doing this for them, and in the end, hopefully it all pans out where I can be home more with them. The whole point of getting into business is to provide for them and try to spend more time with them. It's a lot. I guess I don't realize sometimes how much pressure is on me keeping this thing on the rails. So a lot of days I just want to throw in the towel, but I don't want to do it because of the, for the kids and for our employees and things like that. I just know with hard work and we can get it to where it needs to be.
From your end, did you think is he juggling like tons of stuff basically?
Too much.
Really? Yeah.
Way too much. I mean, I've known you for what, 4, 5-ish years.
Oh well.
And he'd always come into where I was at before, and we'd talk.
Go get the materials and everything.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I'm like, how do you do everything?
Yeah.
So like anything you've got, send it my way. Spreadsheets. I love my spreadsheets. So
Is she taking on quite a bit?
She is, and it's one of the things where it's just like I don't know what to have her do.
Okay.
I mean, and I know I've just scratched the top of her potential, and I know there's so much she can do.
I would say like even after today, of her hearing more, like just put it on her. Be like, hey, what can you take off my plate?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that thing that you're doing, I could do that. So like
Hey.
give me that.
Things like the estimates for mowing, invoicing, scheduling, routing, like every little thing that can potentially be done in the office. Yeah. I think we can come up with a plan for like long term, right? We can come up with that. I want to think more short term, like what do we do to get out like some of the short term pain? Okay, so we've established a few things. One, collection side, we gotta get fees being charged to people. Like people will randomly start paying when they start seeing fees racking up.
Do you think like a 3% fee or something along those lines?
I would do it based upon each like month or week that they're overdue, right? Like right now, if you just collected 1% a month, you're basically staying with the cost of capital, like your debt payments, 9, 10, 12%. And then you can actually tag that into when you're trying to follow up before that, being like, hey, I don't want to charge you fees, please pay, right? So there's like a short win. Second thing, we gotta get a website.
So I bought Treasured Earth from a guy 3 years ago. And the website that came with the business was phenomenal. Kicked up leads like crazy. And that's when the whole domain thing happened last winter. Something got disconnected with our card, so we lost our domain name when they didn't have payment for a few months, but they never let me know that they weren't getting a payment. And they let that go on for like 6 to 8 months. And as soon as we found out that there was no payment, we paid them, but they'd already sold our domain name to somebody else.
At this size, like we're a similar size, my first location's similar size. Okay. And like we don't do advertising. We send one-click estimate emails out once a month for the service that we are trying to highlight, and we get 50 to 80 leads.
So it's been a little harder to sell without the website.
So like I'd probably just retire the old brand.
That's what I've been struggling with. And then what brand do you keep? Do you keep the Treasured Earth? Do you keep the Faithful on?
I'd keep Faithful on all your trucks.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe you're gonna raise prices until you're getting flooded with leads.
So I have my buddy working with them to try to get our new domain name connected to our pre-existing website so we can get our leads going again.
And you're like, oh, like I am confident that if I lose 20 or 30% of my customers, I will refill them in 6 weeks.
Yeah. So I guess I didn't realize how important it was to continue to keep leads going since we were booked out so far. I was like, oh, we'll work on it over the winter, but it's kind of something that we need to deal with now. So how do you deal with stuff like this? This just came up.
Okay.
It's got language in it, so I have to try to. We let a gentleman go this morning.
Yeah.
And
now he's texting you.
Now he's threatening to sue us.
Got some on there too. He said he was going to
He's
call
saying
the Better
he's
Business
wrongly
Bureau and
terminated, and he's coming for our company.
Okay.
And have your lawyer ready.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why people have to be such jerks about it. It's just the last 2 people, the last guy we let go, we had to let someone go last week. He jumped in a truck and stole it, and we had to go recover the truck.
The one dude, Evan, remember the one who stole the one truck? He was driving the Prius around every day. And it's not the Prius in the truck. I don't even know if he had a license.
But it's just like, then they come back at you, and they're like, well, I'm going to sue you and take you for everything that's worth. And it's just like, why do people have to be like that? Like, how do you deal with stuff like that? None of my business.
All right, when you say deal with it, you mean deal with it like just emotionally and psychologically, or deal with it actually legally?
Like that, I mean, and legally, like, do we need to get a lawyer on standby? Like,
Okay, so from a legal perspective, did you do anything wrong? Like on the termination, who fired them?
Amber let him go.
And what'd she say when she fired him?
That, you know, that she just basically recapped that, you know, hey, you know, we asked you to do something and then you didn't do it. We had a meeting. We said, you know, this is how we want things done, you know. And then the next day I asked you to do something else and you didn't do it again.
So how is that wrongful termination?
I don't think it is at all.
Yeah, so it's just an empty threat.
Yeah.
Like the person's probably never they don't even know how to contact a lawyer. They don't even know what a lawsuit is.
Hopefully.
And so, you know, let's say that they go make a claim on something like workers' comp.
Sure.
Okay, great. They're gonna send an investigator and you're gonna show that like everything was done by what it should be done.
We
Like,
didn't necessarily do anything in writing though.
doesn't matter. It's an at-will state, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even need to give people a reason. We never give people a
I didn't
reason.
think you needed to. I get it. It sucks to lose your job, but it's just because you weren't a good fit. Not just because they don't like you as a person. It's just you weren't a good fit at the company.
You never give people reasons for firing. This happened last week to someone when we were firing them. I'm gonna record you, tell me why I'm getting fired. Every manager knows you don't say a single word. They know why. There's been meetings and there's been like, we're trying to work with you, we're trying to do this. Like they know why.
Well, and the guy we let go last week, I gave him an opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Like, you know, hey, like, what happened Friday? Oh, are you sure? Like, I talked to a couple people. You know, they didn't hear you there. You know, are you sure? You're like, oh yeah, no, I was there.
He thought he was a decent worker, and I think for the most part he was until we figured out that he was essentially lying about cutting properties.
And it's just like, you know, I'm like, dude, I have you therefore on camera. I talked to all 15 employees at the shop over there. None of them heard you there. And your crewmate told me that you guys just drove right by it. Like, on those, I have to let you go. I can't have somebody that's gonna be honest. He jumps in a truck, takes off. And then, like, I'm out here talking with the police and he calls me and says, oh, I left your truck over here, you know, come get it, and I hung up.
I don't know if there's, you know, a hiring manager that could weed out the wheat from the chaff and maybe make some better decisions about who we hire here, but it just requires a certain je ne sais quoi about reading people.
This comes down to the fact that like, you have no emotional or psychological bandwidth to actually handle these things. And that's why they're affecting you so much. And so that's why like fixing the root of the business problems and getting more money is the thing that gives you the bandwidth to know like, I'm gonna be okay. Because if they sue me, who cares? I have $5,000, I will get a retainer for a lawyer and I will win the case.
And it's like right now, it's just like, don't have the extra money. Like obviously like we'd come up with it if we had to, but it's just like.
Always comes back to that, money solves everything.
Yeah.
It'll solve all of these things. And that might mean being a little bit ruthless and firing people.
Yeah.
And that stinks. There's never been a day I've been able to sleep the night after firing someone. Yeah. Like it's just gonna keep happening. I've just come to the grips, I will collapse every single time. It is what is required to make money.
Yeah.
We will not be able to change the labor force. We will not be able to change people's skill level. We won't be able to change any of that stuff. But what we can change is our pricing. What we can change is how we collect. What we can change is how we get a website to get more leads. So just stay focused on that. Yeah. All this other stuff is noise.
Yeah. Would you even respond to that or would you just let it go?
You never respond.
To be clear, there have been times where I've fired someone and then give them an explanation, told them what they could improve, what skills they need to acquire. However, if someone is being malicious or in any way getting mad or riled up about the firing process, immediately I just have to protect the company and everyone else that's working there and not say anything.
I would say definitely don't be afraid to do the coaching or apply for the coaching. I think the advice Mike has given has been really good so far.
Based on what you said, you don't have open book management. Like you're not sharing numbers with the team at all.
Some of my main guys kind of know what's going on.
Okay.
So they know that it's a struggle.
Yeah.
So and then
what's the extent that they know? They just know it's tight usually.
I try not to pay attention too much to that as long as my paychecks are being signed, you know, and as long as he's not taking us.
Like we gotta share the numbers with them. And as much as like the frontline team members or the kind of foremen kind of know what's going on.
Alex is pretty open about his finance. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
They still see you buying brand new trucks. And they see that and they will assume you are making a bunch of money. And so it throws them through a mind spin where like he wouldn't buy materials for us yesterday and asked us to push that off.
We got waylaid on some plants. I don't know what the situation with that was.
But yeah, he bought a brand new dump truck we're not using. And he bought a new hurricane blower system and equipment for the snow blowing. Like they will find evidence to think that you're just loaded with money.
The signs are there, right? Like my boss was able to like completely pay off his house, build a shop there.
You know what solves this is more money, because more money is going to allow us to pay these head foremen, and they train people.
Yes.
You're doing a $1.5 million business.
Yep.
You're still playing manager.
Yep.
I would try to get things back to just some sort of senility and a basic. You know what I mean? It's scattered too far. You got too many plates spinning. You know what I mean? And you don't know how to keep them going. It's a lot for anyone.
Like once you get over 800,000 in annual revenue, you switch from manager to architect. And like architect thinks about strategic things in the business, the fees, the website, getting more leads, driving more sales, getting the big contracts, closing these big deals. They're not thinking about like how are we doing invoicing and like making sure the crew sheets are printed out every morning, and like those are all manager things. And you're gonna like drive yourself to the ground in every way trying to keep doing that at this size of business.
Yeah, like we had a trailer breakdown today. I mean, I'm gonna have to deal with that now. And again, we don't have the budget to hire a GM or a shop manager or something like that. So I guess for the time being, that's what I'm gonna be doing.
The job is in jeopardy. Like the business is insolvent right now. And I don't want you all to lose your jobs. And so here's what we're gonna do to fix it. And I'm gonna need everyone's participation. And I understand it's gonna be a different culture, and we're gonna be running things differently. I'm gonna be like very much trying to lean on all of you, but if we don't do that, we all lose our jobs. One surefire way to lose all your jobs is everything hinging on you, and then you just having a breakdown.
Alex wants all of his employees to know his financial situation.
I'm 100% open to opening the books to the guys.
Like that was
You
one.
do?
Of the,
I'm talking to the camera.
I think it's good. I think it's good that they know. I don't know about sharing with them. They don't have enough money to make payroll. Or did you tell them that?
Oh, 100% I tell them that.
If we saw the numbers, might be a better indication of how we're doing.
I don't think they necessarily know the gravity of the situation. I think some days I'm even in denial of the gravity of the situation.
Just being able to see it, I mean, I can't tell him or give him advice on what he should do. It's his company, right?
If you ran a business, would you want your employees snooping around in your finance?
And you just say like, it's embarrassing. You will probably cry, just FYI. You're in front of your team. It's the best thing that ever happened to them, and to you, and to the business. Because you'll actually all have the same expectations and the same information. And that is the business is struggling. It happens all the time. At this size of business, an owner trying to juggle everything is recipe for a breakdown.
I've thought about just disappearing a few times.
And then guess what happens to all their jobs,
They're gone.
right? And so being a good steward of what God's given us requires having enough margin and enough profit to ensure that if you need to disappear for a week because you need the reset, the business is okay. And as a good steward and an employer of their job and what puts food on their table, you are responsible to charge higher prices. You're responsible to make sure the business can run without you for a week or two. And right now it can. And you can say that in front of them. And one of them to walk out, and who cares? You're gonna go raise prices because now you're above capacity.
They need to know what's happening.
He takes care of us, you know, I mean, he really does. Like, he truly does.
I do think he's nice, and I think he treats his employees very well and tries to keep on the up and up with getting them paid, being really flexible about letting them take time off.
He's too nice. He's too nice.
And I think the group of guys we have now are all with me, whether we sink or swim. Like, I think they'll ride the thing to the bottom or they'll ride it to the top. Hello. What are they saying?
Oh, they're just pissed that a random guy showed up knowing nothing about the company to tell them about how the company's failing and how much debt the company has. And there's just a bunch of random stuff that I didn't really track that everyone was talking about, that might not have a job tomorrow and all this stuff might not come in, blah, blah, blah.
Hot bullshit.
I mean, I'm sure half of it's jokes, but I just figured, I mean, I'd tell you,
There's a big project over there. It's good, looks good though.
Yeah. Did you hear it all about, they're all off now that grilled them?
Really?
They're
Why?
If he wants to have a conversation about his finance, he can be here and we can have a conversation about his finance.
What exactly did you say? Because I have to go do damage control now.
what's the best way to improve the
I
business?
mean, I'll tell you off camera. You know? I got tons of secrets. I'll tell you off camera.
There's two of them you talked to?
Eric
You talked to Eric?
This is about how do you make a successful business. It's not about how do you dig a hole.
and the guy in blue.
And John.
Not grounds for firing. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's definitely not our intention.
Oh, I know.
Making it
I know. It's
awkward for you.
Now when they're all like, rawr, it's like,
What do they think? What do they think we were doing today?
I don't know. I mean, I told them that, I had, a mentor coming out to kind of do an evaluation on the business and let me know what he thought and, how we can do to make improvements.
Well, the first thing about Alex you need to know is he did not text any of us about this or let us know, like, hey, do you mind being interviewed? He just sent you out here. You know what I mean? Like, a little common courtesy, like, hey, bro, you got a guy coming that's going to interview you. Is that cool? Is that what you would do?
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah. Because that's what you do to people, you enjoy, whatever. Not show up with a camera, how you doing? And ask.
So, like, I didn't say, we're failing, but, they know we're struggling, but they don't, I don't know. I don't think we're necessarily failing business. I think we're just struggling.
Yeah.
It's just a slow patch till we can get better.
I feel like we've done a lot of these, and this one didn't go exactly as planned. In the end, what do you think went wrong when we were there?
In the absence of sharing information and it flowing freely with the team, they're gonna jump to conclusions when they get random little bits of data. Guy shows up on my property with a camera in my face. I think it's from a paid consultant trying to fix the business.
Alex wanted this. Alex is like, go around and ask my employees what they think could be done better with the company.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you see?
Data point. Oh, we lost a big contract. Oh, someone's gonna get fired based upon this.
The only one we might have to lay off would be Jordan, because I don't think I could really afford to keep him around.
Someone did get fired this morning and is spewing all sorts of garbage in my text.
We let somebody go this morning. Are you enjoying that? I don't know why he's blowing the group chat up.
You're just gonna put these things together and be like, the business is going under, I'm losing my job, and I'm gonna be mad at everyone. Versus the owner being like, hey, this is what's happened in the business, we're struggling in these departments, and I'm bringing someone in to give us some ideas about pricing, what we can do to improve, and here's why we fired so-and-so, and this lost contract, yes, it's gonna have less hours, but here's what we're gonna do on the other end to get more jobs so we don't lose no one has to lose their job.
Wait, thanks for letting us come out. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
thanks for
You'll
coming
get
out.
through it. I know it's tough.
Yeah.
It's just a low moment, but you'll come through it.
Oh yeah, I know we will. It's just getting there.
Yeah.
It's just keeping the faith and keep going.
I don't know, man, it's just frustrating. I don't feel like it ended the way we want it to.
Do you feel like we could have done more? Or is it just that you don't know what happened? Do you feel like we could have done better? Is that the disappointment? Or are you disappointed in the way that...
We just don't know what happened. Like, I wish I would have known, like, did he actually do what we talked about? And then, like, was there a resolution? Like, this is not how an episode should end. It's a turnaround show.